Welcome to Life Ablaze. So today, my guides have indicated to me that the topic is going to be reflections. So here we go. We are here. We welcome you. We are here today to discuss the idea of reflections. Now, there are, of course, many ideas of reflections in your own physical experience, and these are all well and good. But we are speaking today more in a figurative, metaphorical sense. There is the idea that all of your relationships are reflections. And this is what we wish to explore today. Beginning with the idea of the relationships themselves. Now, any relationship that you have, all that it is a reflection. Now, you could see this most readily in your closest, most intimate relationships. You can see this because the other is able to reflect back to you what you are putting out. If you are aware and present in your relationships, if you are paying attention. Now, we understand that there are a lot of different variables in your person-to-person relationships. And speaking first in terms of your most intimate relationships, this idea that they are reflecting back to you what you put out is the primary reason you have relationships to begin with. And these primary relationships, if you choose to see them in this very beneficial way, can teach you more about yourself than perhaps any other of your personal relationships. But you have to be willing to look at yourself. There are many people who simply want to have a relationship for companionship, or entertainment, or to fulfill some type of programming that says that you must create couples and break off from the rest of society. And we are not here to judge any of those ideas. Those are all perfectly well and good. Those are all perfectly valid. But those ideas are more of a superficial nature. And we are here, in general. These 30 days of channeling are here, of course. Our main theme is to move you closer in your relationship to your higher self. And so, one of the ways that you must utilize in order to become closer to your higher mind is to be able to honestly look at yourself. Honestly become aware of what you are actually putting out. Not what you think you may be putting out, but what you are actually sending out to the world. And your primary relationships are an ideal place to begin in this respect. Especially if you have created your relationships around open communication and full honesty. And you are creating your relationships in this way, are you not? Now, this is a very, very good place to start. And this alone can keep people busy with plenty of material to view oneself and to begin to open one's eyes to what they are putting out into the world, and to begin to make different choices. If you determine that what you are putting out into the world is not congruent with what you would like to be putting out into the world, with the kind of individual that you would like to be. So, ideally, in your primary relationships, if it has been reflected back to you that you are putting out something that is perhaps not what you thought, then it would behoove you to begin to look into these ideas and to do some personal investigation and to make changes within yourself. This is, of course, in tune with the overriding theme that we are addressing. Now, this is the first level of utilizing reflections. And again, this is a very, very useful tool in and of itself. But we wish to go a bit further with this for those of you who believe that you are ready, who believe that you can openly and honestly look at yourselves, even at your so-called faults, and begin to look at them with an open heart, and to begin to address them, and to begin to heal them, so that you are acting in more congruence. So this next level is to begin to see all people that show up in your reality, your own personal reality, as reflections of you. Now, what do we mean by this? This is along the idea that your reality is more than simply an objective idea. It is subjective. We are not telling you that you need to subscribe to this idea. We are back. Now, where we left off, we understand that there are several levels of perception. And we are not here to tell you that any one level of perception is better than the other. It is not. It is simply another level of perception. And so, what we are discussing here is the idea of stepping beyond the objective, three-dimensional, five-sensory reality that you may find yourselves in, that your society is built upon. Because you are, in fact, multidimensional. Your world is, in fact, multidimensional. And your reality is most certainly multidimensional. And so, when we speak of different perspectives, what we were referring to is to move to an octave of perception that is beyond third-dimensional reality. It would be moving into the idea of subjective reality. Now, this idea, in essence, is such that what you see outside of you is not outside of you. The individuals that you see around you are parts of you, reflections of you. And the only reason that you are seeing those individuals and not others are because those reflections, those individuals are relevant for you in this moment, in any particular moment. They are reflecting something back to you that is relevant for the moment that you are in, for the vibration that you are emanating at that moment. And so, if there are things, if there are individuals in your environment that you wish were not in your environment, then the way to utilize this very effective tool is to begin to perceive these individuals as the reflections that they actually are. You are creating them in your personal reality. And they are there for a reason. They are there to reflect something important about yourself back to yourself. So the idea of the reflections is essentially the same from whatever perspective that you are looking. Even if you are in the three-dimensional reality perspective and looking at your primary relationships, they are there to reflect something important back to you. The same is true when you move into a multidimensional perspective, one of subjective reality, where your entire reality is you, facets of you. And so from this perspective, if something is irritating you in your reality, you can begin to ask yourself, why is this person here? What is the message that this particular reflection is here to show me about myself? Because they would not be there for no reason. This is part of the alignment perspective, to understand that there is no randomness. There are variables that are beyond your mind's capacity to process. And so you give it such a label as random or chance or even coincidence. But that is simply an expression of the lack of your mind's ability to fully process the multidimensional aspects of what is going on. There is, again, nothing wrong with this. It is simply a decision on your part of which level of perception you choose to experience at any given moment. And you can go back and forth. You can experience third-dimensional perspective, and you will. But the more that you allow yourself to move beyond that simplicity of third-dimensional reality and the false ideas that come along with it, such as these events being random, outside events and circumstances just happening to you. These are all the perceptions of a limited third-dimensional perspective. There is great value to be had in continuing those perspectives, but that is not intrinsically true, and it is not in alignment with your greater self that knows more, that sees more of the bigger picture, of the multidimensional picture, of all of the different congruent components that are always around you, that are always in support of what you are creating, what you are experiencing in this life. And so, anything, any person that shows up in your reality, but also any events, any things that may seem to happen to you, they are something that you have created on some level, that you wanted to experience for a reason. And they are there to reflect a message of importance back to you. If you are willing to move beyond, for instance, the frustration of a particular unwanted event or individual or altercation, if you are able to move beyond the unwanted aspects of that event or person or interaction and into the idea that it is here for a good reason, or it would not be here, then you can begin to open yourself up to exactly what that reason is, and you can begin to utilize that crucial, specific information that is keyed to you and your experience. and to begin to implement that and take action on that and become that information. Become that facet of your multidimensional self so that you can take that and move forward and grow and learn and come into greater harmony with all that you actually are. We are here to reflect back to you that which is your own higher mind. You would not be here listening to this if your own higher mind did not wish to impart these understandings to you. You are not here by chance. It is not random that you found this information. It is not coincidence. It is synchronicity. And this is a topic that we will discuss another time. We thank you very much for the opportunity to discuss this idea of reflections to you today. And we look forward to speaking with you again. Until then. Thank you so much.